Ahmed, based in Switzerland.
This is Dominik Mugli in the San Francisco Bay Area. Our podcast, The Digital Edge, brings our perspectives on the digital revolution with a cutting edge angle.
So today, Dominic, we are talking about AI, and the big question is, should we drop everything and focus on AI? What do you think?
Do skip all the other digital transformation aspects and just go with AI?
Yeah, in the
No.
same way that in Africa, they skip maybe the internet wave and move directly to mobile. Why bother with landline and connectivity when we can do everything on mobile? So
Yeah.
maybe that's the same point. Yeah, maybe let's drop our big ERP system and do everything on AI. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how money is invested these days in technology from venture capital, it seems like that's the only thing that anybody's interested in.
Yeah.
So it definitely has a perception of like, oh, this is where the biggest bang for the buck
Yeah.
is going to be, right? So now I
Follow the
think,
money. It's like follow the money.
yeah, maybe so, right? I mean, like, hey, if the only way to get funded for a project is going to be to have AI part of it, right? Then so be it, right? But I think in the context of the user of technology, right? The ultimate user and having a business to run with technology, right? I would caution against going all in on AI and forgetting about everything else at this
And
time.
why? I mean, what are the two or three main reasons why you say, let's be prudent, let's not jump too fast?
Uh, I would say that in the practical world, a little bit more experience is needed to understand the capabilities and the benefits of AI, right? Because we see a lot of, cool stuff online that AI can do, right? But how does that really translate into advancing a business? And that's why I think the jury is still out, right? And some maturity is still needed to evolve from the solution providers that this really can result in broad adoption and clear value, not just projected value in the future. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there are still many reasons not to go too fast. I mean, first, I think is the maturity of the technology.
Mhm.
It's still not perfect or far from being perfect, and uh, you know, uh, biases, ethical issues. I mean,
Right.
we still need to have a human intervention to make things right. So that for me would be the first reason. I think the second is on the business side, how to really monetize the value and find a good case. And I've seen some figures like 95% of pilots do not turn into real businesses. So we see that it's still hard to extract value. And I think maybe just a third point before I pass the floor back to you is the need for human interactions and still. And
Mhm.
we've seen companies going all the way through chatbots and robots, and then coming back to putting human in front of customers because that's still what customers expect. They want some human interaction. They want, maybe less rigid answers. They want people to feel and use their intuition, all the things that AI cannot do today. So I think, for already three reasons why I would be cautious as well. What do you think?
Yeah, that's totally fair, right? We're still seeing a little bit of um, the understanding of the capabilities growing, right? What it can really do. And there's one example in the scientific field where truth and accuracy is extremely important, right? It's not an area where you can have like interpolation of data and maybe not be fully 100% accurate, right? So there are many fields like that where you have to truly rely on the data and the outputs that you get from AI, right? And that needs to be understood about the right match of technology. I mean, if you look at AI, and of course it's a big field, right? We typically mean AI chatbots when we talk about AI, but if you go back to more of a traditional machine learning capabilities, right?
Yeah.
Where you can anticipate outcomes based on historical data, right? I mean, we have to make sure we don't forget about those very powerful tools as well, and that they're used in the right place. So I still see even AI chatbots as a tool for helping us rather than something that will outright replace what's happening in the workplace today.
Yeah, I agree. I think maybe a safer bet for AI is what we call augmented humans. So,
Mhm.
being an additional capability of humans, in terms of extracting information and maybe, formalizing documents or arguments or, helping humans rather than replacing. Actually, I've seen a lot of, things on social media where it says, AI is not going to replace you, but humans helped by AI are going to. And I think that that's probably right. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah, and I think that I saw that line online as well. It's a great quote because if you think about it, it's similar to other technologies that has have helped us in the past. You know, if you okay, let's go way back in time. If you were still using a typewriter today for your correspondence and send it in the mail, you'd have a hard time staying in business, right? And
Mhm.
so people had to adapt and learn. And fast forward 30 or 40 years or however it's been since the introduction of the personal computer that replaced some of these basic capabilities. I think it's the same thing, right? It becomes more of like how do people adapt these tools that are available and just work faster, more efficiently, and more effectively, right? So I think this is the current frontier, and I think in the near future is what we'll see, at least going forward. That this is a personal development opportunity and the need for many people in many fields.
I think I mean, we've talked about the imperfections of AI today and why, we should be cautious. I think the other reason for me is that there is still a lot to be done in more traditional digital transformation. And we see, that data is not well structured or accurate or compliant. We see that there are a lot of basic capabilities that are still lacking in many organizations, maybe not the largest ones, but if you think about small and medium sized enterprises, making the best use of their CRM system, for example,
Hmm.
or business intelligence tool to predict and forecast their business. There is still a lot of value that can be extracted from
Hmm.
more traditional digital transformation. And I think a large share of effort and investment should still go to that area to make sure that the business is ready for the additional layer that AI is going to bring.
Hmm.
What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, it's kind of funny when the AI focus became into perspective a couple of years ago, right? I think what I saw was that the previous sorry hype area was in data science, right? It was all about the prior 3 to 5 years was all about data capabilities and analytics and understanding data, right? And that in the public view, anyways, right? And the public discourse that almost went away instantly when AI came about. So um, I think you're spot on with the data needing to be there because if you look at how on the technical end of things, how AI becomes smarter is you go and organize your data, you put it in the shape that you want, you tell your AI tool what it is that it's working with, more or less, and then you can start benefiting from it, right? And so we still have this challenge of these Excel spreadsheets all over the place, that are really looking for a better home and a more consistent structure, right? Which doesn't seem very attractive anymore these days to do all this, manual stuff. And we want to have tools that deal with this unstructured data and just figure out what it is and what it's supposed to do and help us interpret it. But I think we're not quite there, or not there yet, and there's still work to be done on that front, for sure.
I think the good news is that leadership has really shown some excitement about AI. I mean, I've heard the CEO saying, "Oh, we are testing Copilot," and so I think they are excited about this opportunity. So that's good news because now executive leadership is having some interest in the technology better than before. Now the challenge for internal teams is going to convince those leadership that yes, AI is cool, but still we need to invest a lot of money in fixing the legacy systems and organizing
Mm-hmm.
our applications and our data before we can do the cool stuff on AI. So the challenge is still is still there, but it's a different challenge.
Yeah, and I think there's a huge gap between the willingness to engage on the AI path and working with it and translating that into tangible strategies, right? Of what that means to a business and where specifically to invest and how to gain a benefit from that, right? So there's this a little bit of a technology and capability to business need disconnect again, right? To better understand what's really possible with this new toolkit that we have and that's ever evolving right now with AI.
Mhm. So I think for me, maybe as a takeaway from our discussion, I feel that AI should not be treated as another initiative. It really needs to be included as part of the digital transformation strategy. One element that should be connected to the rest of the transformation. I think that's how I would position AI, and certainly not drop the rest to jump on AI initiatives.
Yeah, well said. Not much to add there, right? It's really leveraging technology like we always have been or should have been to the benefit of the organization and for growth and advancement of the business.
Thank you so much, Dominic, for our discussion today, and see you next time.
Thank you, Francoise. Thanks everybody for watching. See you next time.
Bye.